If you're a runner, I've got a little practice for you. It takes about 10 minutes. So come with me, sit on the mat and just stretch your legs out. Hands by your side, staff pose, or you can put your hands on your thighs. And then we begin by scrunching the toes up and then spreading the toes out nice and wide. So we'll do about 5 of those. And then we'll start to point the toes away from us and then flex the foot, bringing the toes back. And we'll do about 5 to 10 of those. So quite nice to free all those little tiny joints and muscles in the feet. And then when you've done that, we'll start with some little circles. So moving the toes in a big circle one way and then the other, so we can just get into the ankles. And then when you've had a little go with that, we're going to sit with the soles of the feet together, hands on the feet or the toes, and we're just going to do some little flutters up and down that get into any stiffness around the hips. So we're going to aim for between 30 and 50 of these. So if you feel uncomfortable with this, you can always sit on a cushion. You can sit with your back against a wall, that might make it easier. But just gentle little flutters, nothing too drastic here, just to get things nice and warmed up. And then we're going to go on to hands and knees. So knees underneath the hips and wrists under shoulders. If it hurts the wrist, you can make little fists, or you can even come down onto the forearms. And we're going to do some cat-cows. So as you inhale, you lower the belly, look up. As you exhale, you bring the chin to the chest and round the back. Look into your knees or your navel. And we want to do a few breaths in each of these, and then we'll move between the two, maybe one move, one breath. So as you inhale, cow pose, exhale into a cat pose. And again, this just starts to move a little space in the stiffness around the lower back. Then we're going to lower onto the belly. Take the hands by the sides. And as you inhale, lift the chest and lift the legs. As you exhale, lower. So we're going to keep the hands by the side, so we don't use the hands to push into the ground and lift us up. We're just going to move as far as each breath will take us, strengthening the back and just finding a little space in the vertebrae. Then we're going to come back to hands and knees, and then we're going to come into a puppy pose. So we're going to keep the hips stack over the knees, come onto the forearms. That might be enough as you lower the forehead down. Some of you might want to see if you can lower the armpits a little closer to the mat and come onto the chin instead of the forehead. Don't go too deep that it hurts. You want to feel a nice stretch in the armpits, the arms and the back. And keep breathing nice and easy here. And then when you've had enough of this one, if it's too much, come out. If you want to stay a couple more breaths, feel free. But what we're trying to do here is get into the middle back and the upper back a little more. Back to hands and knees. And then we're going to tuck the toes, bend the knees, lift the tailbone up. So we come to a downward dog. So the arms are shoulder width apart. The feet are about hip width apart. So we're on the balls of the feet. And then we're going to walk the dog, which means bending one knee and lengthening out the other leg. So we're in an upside down V shape. We want to look to the knees or the navel here. And we might want to, as we inhale, rock up onto the tiptoes, and as we exhale, lower the heels. And it doesn't matter if the heels are nowhere near the ground, it's just the place that we're aiming for. Then we're going to bear crawl the hands and feet towards each other. Keep a deep bend in the knees. Hands can come onto the shins or the thighs, or you could let the arms dangle down, coming into a ragdoll. So a simple forward fold. If you feel any pain in the hamstrings or the low back, then bend the knees deeper and come up or out of the pose. We're going to do a few halfway lifts. So as you inhale, nice flat back, gaze forward. As you exhale, bending the knees lower. And then we're going to take a big inhale, reach the arms over the head. As we exhale, bring the arms to the side. I'll turn around so you can see. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bend the knees a little, take the arms to the side. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, lift. And this time we're going to interlace the fingers and we're going to just tip over to one side, keep a nice bend in the knees and just find that nice space opening up between the muscles, the ribs. And then we'll do the other side when you're ready. Come back to center. We'll take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and then we'll bend the knees lower. Take the arms over the head. If this feels too much, you can just let the arms dangle. We'll take a few more halfway lifts. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend the knees lower. Inhale, nice flat back. So just making sure that it always feels comfortable. And then we'll just come back to another halfway lift here. Big inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, hands onto the waist. We're going to take a big step back with the left foot. So the right foot is forward and the hips and the shoulders are level with the short side of the mat. You can interlace the hands, you can take the hands onto the forearms, or you could take the hands onto the waist. And we're going to aim the sternum with the front knee as we lower to a pyramid stretch. So keep a bend in that front knee if you need to. Keep the shoulders and the hips level. This one-legged forward fold is really good for the hamstrings and the back body. So don't go too deep that it hurts. If you're particularly flexible, you might take the hands to the ground. And always making sure that the front knee, in this case, doesn't lock out. Inhale, we take the hands to the waist and slowly lift. And then we just pivot on the feet and turn to the other side of the mat. Level off the hips and the shoulders with the short edge of the mat at the front. Hands behind the back. And then we lower the sternum in line with the front knee. Chin towards the shin. And we might come all the way down, or we might come a little higher. Might have the chest parallel to the floor, or we might take the hands down to the floor. Again, nice softness in that front knee. Inhale to lift out. As you exhale, feet together. Now I'm just going to turn to face you. You can stay in your direction. We're going to take the arms level with the shoulders. And as we inhale, we're going to lift the left knee. So we exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the knee, point the toes down. Little balance here. And we can stay with this one, or we can take that quad stretch by bringing the knees together, taking the hand to meet that back leg, and the standing leg, the arm comes up alongside the ears. We could make this a standing bow, right, reaching the heart forward, pressing the back foot into the hand, and we'll come back. Hands by the side. So I'll just turn around so you can see it on this side. So inhale, lift the right knee. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. So you can stay with this one, or we can take that balancing stretch. So we lift the knee, and then we'll take the right hand, reach the right foot, left arm alongside the ear. We can stay here. Don't worry if you wobble. Or we can take the standing bow. So we press the foot into the hand, reach the heart and the hand at the front forward. Breathe nice and deep. Then we'll come back to feet together. And I'll just turn round, but you face the front of your mat. We'll take the feet nice and wide. We're going to do a squat. A few options. Hands at the heart centre. We can just come halfway. Take the hands onto the thighs. That might be quite enough. It might be too much. In that way, we can do these ninja stretches, just swaying from one side to the other. If you want a low squat, then you let the knees move into the same direction as the toes, hands to the heart center. You could come onto the balls of the feet, and then we'll just lower wherever you are onto the mat. We're going to lie on the back, bring the knees into the chest, a little hug or sway. Then we're going to take the right ankle just below the left knee, left hand on the left hip bone, right hand on the inside of the right knee. As you inhale, gently guide the right knee away. As you exhale, let it come back. We're going to do a couple of those, and you can stay with that one. Or you could thread the right hand through the legs, the left hand on the outside, bring the knee towards you, take the leg to the ground. Or you could take the hands to the shin, and you could lift the upper body. So all these are variations of a pigeon pose, but lying on the back so we don't do any damage to the knee or the hip. And then we can just have a little rock side to side of the knees as we unravel. Just take any tension out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So the left ankle just below the right knee, left. So right hand on the right hip, left hand on the inner thigh. Inhale, gently guide the left knee away. Exhale, let it come back. And you can stay with this one or thread the left hand through the legs, right hand on the outside, lifting that right leg. Or you could take the hands onto the shin, inhale, lift the upper body into a nice little ball. So we're getting into the outer hips in this pose. And don't forget to breathe. And then when you're ready, feet to the floor, little rock side to side. We call windshield wiper pose, nice and easy on the low back and the hips. And then a twist. So we take the knees over into one direction and we gaze towards the opposite arm. And we just stay here for a couple of breaths. So don't worry if the knees don't go all the way to the ground. Inhale, lift the knees. Exhale, swap over directions. Take the knees into the other direction. Trying to keep both shoulders on the ground, neck relaxed. Inhale, just bringing the knees towards you, and exhale, see if you can rock up to sit or just roll over. And we're just going to come to sit down now. So you can take the legs outstretched or you can cross the legs. Inhale the palms together. Exhale the hands to the heart center. Take a few easy breaths here. Let the breath rate settle. Let the body soften. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Namaste. On with your day. Thank you.